So hey there everyone, it's Kevin Presso from the lead pastor from LifeSpring Christian Fellowship with a new blog entry with a couple of book reports. Um, you'll notice I'm not in my basement this time around. I am actually on March break with my family. My wife and my two kids are up visiting my mom and stepdad up in North Bay, Ontario, Canada. And we've been here for the last 2.5 days now, almost 3 days, and just relaxing. It's been great. Just enjoying the beautiful weather. I'm actually outside in t-shirt in northern Ontario in March. So this is a real gift from God to just relax this week. You might be able to hear the hum of the hot tub behind me. I've spent about 20 hours in there so far, just relaxing and chilling out and playing with the kids. It's just been great. So just wanted to give an update on a couple of books that I've been reading over the last couple of weeks. And just if these books are helpful to you, then hey, that's great. If you have a book review or a book that you want to recommend for me to read, I'm a big reader. I'm a firm believer that as I grow, my church will grow. And as people of my church grow, so the church will grow spiritually, numerically, and in every other area. So send your book suggestions to me. You can email me. The email address is on the blog or at the bottom of this video. Just send me an email. Love to hear from you. First book I wanted to mention is a book called The Prodigal God by Timothy Keller. Now, Timothy Keller spoke at the Willow Creek Leadership Summit this past August, and his talk was probably the highlight of the conference for me when he brought us through the story of the prodigal son, one of Jesus' most famous parables, and just really got me thinking on how we as churches have missed the point of that parable. We always focus on the younger brother and how he's lost. We focus on the father's love, but we forget that the story wasn't really about them. Jesus was talking to religious people, and Jesus was talking to Pharisees and people who knew their Bible, who went to church, who followed all the rules, yet were set apart, were not going to participate in the feast of the Father because not of the things that, not because of their badness, but because of their goodness. It was those things that were keeping them away from God. So this book has been incredibly challenging for me personally as I look at my own heart. How have I been like the elder brother? How have I allowed my plans, my success, my vision for the church, my whatever, get in the way of what God wants to do? And this book has so impacted me that I've actually went through Timothy Keller's leadership talk with my leadership team, and now we're taking our entire church through a 5-week study of this book. So it's a little book. You can read this in an hour, maybe two if you're a fast reader, but I strongly recommend getting this Prodigal God from Timothy Keller. Second book this is a book I'm actually halfway through reading it right now, and it's another book that I picked up again in August at the Willow Creek Leadership Summit that I haven't had a chance to read yet. And this is a book called Switch by Chip and Dan Heath. Now these are the guys, the brothers, who wrote the book Made to Stick. Another excellent book. Strongly recommend you go through that book, and it's one of the books that we went through with Nelson Searcy in his telecoaching, senior pastor telecoaching. So in this book they talk about how to change things when things are hard, when change is hard. And the reality is, in ministry, change is hard. You know, you want to make a change to the music, you want to make a change to your preaching style, you want to make a change to your ministries, and it just seems like the congregation wants to move so much slower than the church leaders do. And sometimes we put the blame on people. We say, well, they're lazy, or they're not spiritual, or whatever. We make up excuses for why they don't want to change. But the truth is, it falls on us as leaders that we have not helped them to change. We have not created an environment where we can help them see why change is necessary and actually make them a part of the process. You know, some people think that people don't like change, but that's not true. We change all the time. We get married, we have kids, we change jobs, we move houses. People change all the time because there's an emotional response to that change, and that's what gets them excited and gets them engaged in the change. So this book is really challenging me as a pastor, as a leader in our church, because we do have things that need to change. We've got some ministry structures that haven't been working. We've got some ministries within the church that haven't been working, and this past year has been a season of change for my church. And that might be stressful for some people. It might be exciting for others. But I really want everyone at my church, and probably in your church too, to embrace what God wants to do. One of the key highlights from this book for me was this idea of looking for bright spots. And this is the idea that we could look at 10 different ministries, and we could spend 80% of our time working on the ones that aren't working well. But maybe that's not where God's working. If we look at the bright spots, we look at the things that are doing well, why are these ministries successful when these ones aren't? Maybe God's doing a special work there, so instead of us fighting God by working over here, we got to get on God's page and on the work that He's already doing and put more of our time, more of our energy, more of our resources into that, and watch God's work just balloon. So this idea of bright spots is really exciting for me, and I'm gonna read that section of the book again because I really want to focus on what these bright spots are in my personal walk with God and within my ministry, so that we can really see God move in a mighty way. So those are just a couple of books that I've been reading over the last couple of weeks. Again, Prodigal God by Timothy Keller. Strongly recommend you get this one. Take your church through it. It's a phenomenal book. And Switch, this was the pre-release copy of the book, so the cover looks completely different now, but you'll find a link to both of these books on my blog. And again, if you have any other book suggestions or anything else you'd like me to read, please drop me a line. The blog is newbiepastor.com. Send me an email. Would love to hear from you. God bless, and we'll talk to you soon.